Seems like the Oblivion remastered is actually real. More and more people are starting to talk about it. Coming out at the end of the month. Seems like they're almost shadow dropping it. So unless they really announce it a few days before it actually drops, they're shadow dropping it. So dropping it without too much marketing and buzz, which usually is weird for a game of this caliber. Usually, even remasters from big franchises, they are announced a bit earlier, maybe 1 month, a few weeks. But this one, nothing. Weird. But yeah, so this video is not gonna be to talk about the news per se, because yeah, what do you want to talk about? There are thousands of other channels who do this. I wanna also give my own spin on it, because otherwise what would be the point? So Oblivion was my first and only Elder Scrolls game, because I get very easily bored of the Bethesda formula. I only played Oblivion, and I only played Fallout 3 and New Vegas, because the Bethesda formula just is boring to me. It's always the same thing. They always make the same game with the same bugs. So once you've played one, you've played all of them. But Oblivion, when it came out in 2006, was a very big deal, because it was my first big open world RPG. When I first played it on 360, it was impressive. Not only in terms of scope, but also in terms of graphics as well. Because the only console that had Oblivion at the time was the 360. It was only on PC and 360. PS3 wasn't even out when this game came out. The PS3 got its own version like 1 year later, when it actually came out in the West. So playing this thing in 2006 was a pretty big shock, because it starts like pretty part of the course, but then as soon as you exit from the sewers, you find yourself in front of a giant landscape. And the first thing, if you're not used to this, the first thing you say is, damn, I can really go all the way over there. Because yes, you can visit all you see. And if it's the first time you're actually experiencing this as a person who plays games, it's very impressive. Because back then, what did we have? GTA as open world, like the benchmark for open world games. What was it? It was GTA. I don't know Morrowind, honestly. I don't think Morrowind was as big as Oblivion in terms of extension of the map, but I may be wrong because I have not played it. But yeah, let's say for most people the benchmark was GTA, which was a bit shallow in terms of open world, in my opinion. So like Oblivion was a pretty big step up, because I actually think the extension of the map is even bigger than GTA 3. But what made Oblivion interesting back then was the world, the stories that were narrated in it. Because of course there's the main quest, and then there's the secondary quest lines, which are, in my opinion, are the main attraction. Like the Dark Brotherhood, that whole quest line is probably one of the best in Oblivion. But in terms of gameplay, it was pretty shallow even back then. Like the combat was very basic. You only could like swipe your weapon and block with a shield at most. That's it. The combat was very subpar. What made the game interesting and memorable was like I said, the world, the exploration, the writing, because also the writing was decent overall. Also, I mean, it was meme worthy. Like it was a game that was meme worthy, so it was fun even for the character interactions. The engine they used, which is the same engine as the other games, but I think they had also a special scripting for the dialogues in this game that wasn't in the other ones. So the dialogues can be pretty fun, even with just even with just NPCs talking. Like it's YouTube is full of meme compilations of Oblivion characters talking to each other. So, and Oblivion was also special because it actually was not when Elder Scrolls got mass popularity. That was actually Skyrim. When Oblivion came out, yeah, I mean, the game was popular, sure, but it was still relatively niche. You didn't see like normies making memes out of this thing like they did with Skyrim. Like the overall internet culture was still in its infancy in 2006. Most people were not even online yet. The world was a completely different place in 2006. So it was relatively a niche game because not many people had a 360, not many people had a PS3, and you needed a decent PC to play this thing. So not all people could do it. So it never ended up being super popular as Skyrim, for example. So I think a remaster is not a bad idea because, like I said, a lot of people have not played this game. There are still a few people who enjoy Bethesda games, quite a few people, despite them being the same thing over and over, like I said. So it's I don't think it's a bad thing they're actually doing this remaster. The problem is I have with it is that as someone who's actually enjoyed the game back then when I played it a lot, I had like 200 hours on this thing at least, if not even more, like 200 or 300 hours. Is that, like I said, the kind of problem, quote unquote, it's not really a problem, is that the game, unless they update it in some meaningful way, in terms of gameplay, it's gonna feel very shallow. Mostly the combat, because the rest is the same RPG slop you come to know and love. But the combat was very, very shallow and underwhelming even back then. So I think I mean I have read they are doing something with the combat, but I'm not sure if it's confirmed because aside from the game coming out, it's probably nothing else is confirmed. There have been a few screenshots, like I said before, circulating on the site of the developer with a nice piss filter on it. Not a fan of the coloration, but yeah. As I was saying, they can leave everything as it is because the game still holds up in everything but the combat. So the combat needs to be overhauled if they want people to enjoy this, in my opinion. It also depends on how much it's gonna be, because I don't think more than $20 for this thing are gonna hold up, because in the end it's still a game from more than actually 19 years old. Yeah, next year it's 20 years old. Jesus. And I mean, as it seems to be another Unreal Engine 5 remaster, according to the rumors, but we'll see, I guess. We'll see how it goes in this sense. So I think if you're someone who enjoys still Bethesda games, yeah, you can definitely pick this up because it's a game that it's a Bethesda game. At this point, you either love their games or you hate them. I hate their games at this point. But I am very fond of this game because, like I said, it was my first big open world RPG. And it still has some value because the writing is decent. The storylines are intriguing enough. The world is very colorful, even though it's. I mean, like I said, it's a game that's 20 years old at this point, so it has its limitations. There's not a huge variety of enemies or anything like that. The problem it also has is that there's level scaling, so the enemies will scale with you. Like if you're level 2, you'll only meet a specific type of enemy. If you're level 5, same thing, and so on. This is also something that plays at its disadvantage because it makes the game a little bit more boring and less varied, like I said. But if you enjoy these games still, as long as they have overall the combat, because like I said, it's the only thing that doesn't hold up is the combat. As long as they have overall the combat, yeah, I think it's worth picking up for $20. It's still a decent RPG. Probably in some ways, even though I haven't played Skyrim, it's probably better than Skyrim in a lot of ways. And yeah, like many other RPGs, this was one of the first games that started doing the essential NPCs stuff. So you cannot kill characters that are fundamental to the progression of the storyline, which is something that you either like or dislike. I personally dislike it. But I can see why they did it, because this game at the time was very complex. So maybe they wanted to avoid fucking things up with too many variables in it. So they just removed the possibility to kill fundamental essential characters, which was something you could do in Morrowind, for example. But whatever. That's not what makes the game bad. Like I said, the game is decent as long as you keep in mind that's a somewhat dated game. But I think it's worth playing in 2025, even just for the meme potential. So, but if you're someone who has never played it, like I said, if you're someone who has never played it and enjoys these types of games, yeah, definitely. But yeah, this is it. Let me know your thoughts if you've played this game, what you think about Bethesda games, if you agree with me or not. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye, guys.